Anyone Can Do It by Duncan Bannatyne is an inspiring and practical guide for anyone looking to build wealth from scratch. Bannatyne, a self-made millionaire and investor, shares his personal journey from being a broke young man with no formal education to becoming a successful entrepreneur and TV personality on the UK's Dragon's Den. This book isn't just about making money, it's about shifting your mindset. Bannatyne stresses the importance of financial discipline, smart saving, and taking calculated risks. He encourages readers to live within their means, invest wisely, and seize business opportunities, even if they start small. One of the key messages is that wealth isn't about luck or privilege, but about having the right attitude, making consistent efforts, and learning from failures. Bannatyne offers real-life examples, straightforward advice, and motivational insights to help readers take control of their financial future. He also emphasizes building passive income and letting your money work for you over time. The goal? Not just to get rich, but to gain freedom, security, and independence through smart financial habits. Whether you're starting with nothing or looking to take your finances to the next level, Anyone Can Do It is a down-to-earth and empowering read that proves success is possible for anyone willing to act. Let's find out the content of each part. Part 1. Start small, think big. In Part 1 of Anyone Can Do It, Duncan Bannatyne lays the foundation for his entire philosophy on entrepreneurship and personal wealth building. You don't need to start big, you just need to start. This section is a motivational, down-to-earth look at how ordinary people can take the first steps toward extraordinary results by embracing action, simplicity, and a long-term mindset. Duncan begins by sharing his humble beginnings. He didn't come from money, didn't have a prestigious education, and didn't grow up around business people. In fact, in his early years he took on a variety of low-paying jobs, many of them manual labor, just to get by. But instead of settling, he saw these early experiences as part of a bigger story that he would eventually write himself. His first real venture into business wasn't flashy. He didn't invent an app or disrupt an industry. He bought a used ice cream van and started selling cones to families and kids in the park. That's it. But here's the kicker, he made it work. He worked long hours, showed up consistently, listened to what customers wanted, and reinvested his earnings instead of spending them. Duncan emphasizes that execution beats imagination. Many people sit on ideas, dreaming and planning for months or years, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Bannatyne challenges that mindset. He argues that starting now, even if it's with something small, is more valuable than waiting for the perfect business idea. Most successful people didn't start with something big. They started with something they could manage and scale. In the ice cream van business, he learned valuable lessons that stayed with him throughout his entrepreneurial journey. Managing cash flow, understanding margins, dealing with customers directly, staying disciplined even when business was slow. More importantly, he learned that confidence comes from doing, not from thinking or reading or planning. Action builds momentum. That's why this first chapter is so action-oriented. He wants readers to understand that you don't need to be rich, brilliant, or connected to get started. You just need to act. Key core lessons from Part 1. Start small, but do start. You don't need millions of dollars or a business degree to begin. Use what's available to you and take the first step. Even something as simple as selling ice cream can teach you the basics of running a business. Think big in the long run. Just because your first step is small doesn't mean your vision should be. Always be looking ahead. Use the small start as a stepping stone toward a bigger future. Execution is everything. A mediocre idea well executed will always beat a brilliant idea that never leaves your notebook. Get it out there and refine as you go. Forget perfection. If you wait for the perfect idea or the perfect time, you'll wait forever. Start with what you have and improve along the way. Listen to your customers. Bannatyne learned early on that staying close to the customer was crucial. He drove the van himself, engaged with people, and adjusted his offering based on feedback. Reinvest, don't overspend. Early success is tempting, but it's important to remain financially disciplined. He didn't upgrade his lifestyle right away. Instead, he reinvested his profits to grow. Build habits, not just businesses. Running even a small operation teaches habits like punctuality, money management, discipline, and resilience, all essential for future success. Brain mindset shift. Perhaps the most powerful part of this section is the mindset shift Bannatyne offers. He urges readers to stop thinking like employees and start thinking like owners. Even if you're just selling a service or running a part-time gig, you're building entrepreneurial muscle. That muscle gets stronger with each decision, each failure, and each lesson learned. He also discusses fear, how it holds people back more than anything else. Fear of failing, fear of looking stupid, fear of losing money. Bannatyne doesn't downplay the risks, but he argues that the biggest risk is doing nothing at all. Fear is natural, but if you want freedom, financial or otherwise, you have to step through it. Pushpin real-world inspiration. Bannatyne isn't interested in abstract theory. He gives real-world advice backed by real-world experience. The fact that his first success was a modest ice cream business makes his message even more relatable. He's not trying to impress, he's trying to inspire. He tells readers that if they can find something small, manageable, and scalable, they can start their journey immediately. Whether it's dog walking, selling goods online, tutoring, or cutting grass, the point is to move. Momentum creates confidence, and confidence creates growth. Yellow square. In summary, Part 1 of Anyone Can Do It is not just an introduction. It's a full-on motivational blueprint for anyone who feels stuck. Bannatyne strips entrepreneurship down to its simplest form. See a need, serve that need, and do it better than others. It's not about luck or genius. It's about effort, discipline, and a willingness to begin. By the end of this section, readers are left with no more excuses. Duncan Bannatyne has shown that even an ice cream van can be the beginning of a multi-million-dollar empire. If you're willing to show up, work hard, and think bigger than your current situation. Part 2. Don't Dream It, Do It. In Part 2 of Anyone Can Do It, titled Don't Dream It, Do It, Duncan Bannatyne shifts the focus from starting small to taking bold, deliberate action. While dreaming big is encouraged, Duncan argues that far too many people get trapped in the dreaming phase and never move forward. The difference between dreamers and achievers? This part of the book is deeply motivational but also practical. Bannatyne wants to shake readers out of their comfort zones. He calls out the someday mentality. People who always say they'll start a business someday, invest someday, take risks someday. He makes it clear. Someday is not a day on the calendar. If you want something, you need to act on it. Today. Lightbulb, the value of action over ideas. Duncan explains that the world is full of people with great ideas, but very few with the courage or discipline to execute them. He emphasizes that ideas, no matter how brilliant, are worthless without action. What separates successful entrepreneurs from everyone else isn't intelligence. It's willingness to do the hard things consistently. He reflects on the time when, after making decent profits from his ice cream van, he had a choice: stay safe or go bigger. He chose the latter. He decided to open a care home business, a far more serious and complex venture compared to selling ice cream. He didn't have a background in healthcare. He didn't even know how to run such an operation. But he researched, took calculated risks, hired good people, and learned fast. This transition shows one of Bannatyne's most important messages. You don't need to be an expert to begin. You just need the drive to figure things out along the way. Key takeaways from Part 2. Dreams without action are just wishes. It's great to have vision, but if you don't follow up with consistent action, it doesn't mean anything. Act before you feel ready. Most people wait for the right time. Bannatyne insists that feeling ready is a myth. Success comes from acting when you're scared and uncertain. Action builds confidence. Confidence doesn't come from preparation. It comes from doing. Every action you take builds experience, clarity, and belief in yourself. Don't overplan. It's easy to hide behind research, planning, and analysis. But those who succeed are the ones who execute and adapt on the fly. Take calculated risks. Bannatyne didn't gamble blindly. He did his homework. But he also accepted that risk is part of the game, and growth doesn't happen without it. Overcome the fear of failure. Failure is inevitable, but it's also how you grow. Instead of fearing it, you should use failure as fuel. Brain mindset of a doer. Duncan goes deep into the psychology of taking action. He argues that humans are hardwired to avoid discomfort and uncertainty, which is why so many avoid taking risks. But if you want success, you have to train yourself to act despite fear. The comfort zone may feel safe, but it's also where dreams go to die. He also talks about decision paralysis. How many people spend months or years trying to make the perfect decision, only to find that they never make one at all? His advice: make a decision, take action, and learn from the outcome. It's better to move and adjust than to sit still and hope. Chart increasing the move into care homes. A big chunk of this section is dedicated to Bannatyne's move from small-time vendor to owner of a care home business. A massive leap in terms of complexity and responsibility. He had no background in the industry, but he was willing to learn the regulations, hire the right people, create a welcoming, safe environment for elderly residents, invest profits from his earlier ventures to fund growth. He didn't wait to become an expert. He became an expert by doing. The message is clear. Action breeds opportunity. The moment you step into something, the world opens up to teach you what you need to know. Speech balloon Bannatyne's voice throughout this part. What makes this section powerful is how candid and direct Bannatyne is. He doesn't romanticize entrepreneurship. He tells it like it is. It's tough, scary, and uncertain. But he also proves that with each step forward, things get clearer and more manageable. He wants readers to stop doubting themselves and trust the process. This part is full of encouragement for those who think they're not ready or qualified. Bannatyne argues that being ready is a choice, not a state of being. You choose to be ready by stepping into the unknown and taking control of your own learning curve. Yellow square summary of Part 2. Part 2: Don't dream it, do it is a bold wake-up call. Bannatyne urges readers to get out of their heads and into the real world. Dreams and ideas are important, but without action they're just noise. This chapter challenges the reader to stop waiting, stop planning endlessly, and start doing something concrete today. By sharing his own leap into the care home business, a venture completely outside his comfort zone, he shows that anyone can do it. You don't need perfect conditions, expert knowledge, or a fancy degree. You need courage, resilience, and a relentless bias toward action. This section sets the tone for the rest of the book. If you want a better life, you have to stop dreaming about it and start building it. Step by step, with persistence and passion, you can turn even the wildest dream into a tangible, profitable reality. Part 3: Make It Happen. In Part 3, Make It Happen, Duncan Bannatyne shifts gears from starting and dreaming to turning ambition into execution at scale. Part 1 was about beginning small and Part 2 was about pushing past fear to take action. Then this chapter is all about building a sustainable business with structure, systems, and smart strategy. After proving that he could succeed with simple ventures like the ice cream business and then diving into care homes, Bannatyne now focuses on what it truly takes to grow and professionalize your business. It's not enough to start. You must now commit to scaling with discipline and a plan. Hammer from small business owner to real entrepreneur. This section marks a major transition in Duncan's journey. He no longer views himself as someone trying to run a business. He becomes a full-fledged entrepreneur. The difference? Systems, delegation, and mindset. He quickly realized that while hard work got him started, smart work would keep him going. Running a care home was far more complex than selling ice cream. It involved navigating health regulations, hiring trained staff, managing customer service for both residents and their families, dealing with legal, tax, and licensing issues. Rather than get overwhelmed, Bannatyne focused on problem solving and surrounding himself with people smarter than him. He hired good managers, nurses, and legal advisors, not because he was weak but because he understood the power of leveraging expertise. He also started tracking KPIs, key performance indicators, handling cash flow projections, and reinvesting strategically. The hobbyist mindset was gone. Now he was building something that could last. Brick key strategies Bannatyne emphasizes. Build systems. If your business relies on you being there 24/7, it's not scalable. You must create repeatable systems and clear processes so others can run the day-to-day. Delegate with trust. Learn to let go of control. Hire people who are better than you in specific areas and let them lead. Micromanagement kills growth. Plan for growth, not just survival. Too many small business owners stay in survival mode. Bannatyne pushed himself to think in terms of 5-year horizons, not 5-day ones. Know your numbers. Financial literacy is not optional. You must understand your costs, profits, burn rate, and projections, or your business won't last. Stay customer-centric. Even as you scale, never lose sight of your clients. In Duncan's case, this meant creating compassionate, quality care environments, not just maximizing margins. Reinvest in the right places. Rather than spending early profits on luxuries, Duncan reinvested in staffing, equipment, property, and compliance to secure long-term stability. Brain: the psychology of growth. In this chapter, Bannatyne also touches on the emotional toll of scaling up. Bigger risks, more responsibilities, and the fear of losing what you've built can paralyze entrepreneurs. But he argues that courage and preparation are the antidotes to fear. He also warns against becoming complacent after the first taste of success. Some people hit a milestone and start coasting. Bannatyne's advice? Push harder. Think bigger. Expand responsibly. He urges entrepreneurs to always be asking, what's next? Where can I improve efficiency? Am I hiring the right people? Are my customers truly happy or just satisfied? Chart increasing: expanding the care home business. This section includes real examples from Bannatyne's expansion. After proving the success of his first care home, he began opening others. But rather than rushing in, he made sure each new facility met strict quality standards. He negotiated smart real estate deals, secured funding, and stayed hands-on with branding and culture. He turned the care home concept into a replicable business model, something that could be duplicated across regions with the right management team. This is where entrepreneurship becomes enterprise. Fire: common traps to avoid, according to Duncan. Overconfidence. Early wins can create false security. Never assume future success is guaranteed. Lack of planning. Winging it doesn't work at scale. Growth requires intentional strategy. Inflexibility. What worked when you were small may break as you scale. Be ready to adapt systems and roles. Neglecting staff. Good employees are the backbone of sustainable growth. Treat them well and invest in training. Yellow square: in summary, make it happen, is where Bannatyne shows what it takes to go from being self-employed to becoming a real business builder. He outlines the tactical, financial, and emotional shifts required to scale. It's not just about working harder. It's about working smarter, building systems, and stepping into the role of a leader. This chapter encourages readers to stop thinking like freelancers or side hustlers, and start thinking like CEOs. Whether your business is a salon, an online shop, or a cafe, the same principles apply. Structure, people, process, and vision. Bannatyne's honesty shines here. He doesn't pretend it's easy, but he proves, with detailed examples and practical advice, that scaling a business is possible for anyone who is committed, focused, and disciplined enough to make it happen. Part 4. Manage the money. In Part 4, Manage the Money, Duncan Bannatyne dives deep into one of the most critical yet often overlooked aspects of entrepreneurship: financial control. While passion, hustle, and vision are important, none of them matter if you can't manage your money properly. In this chapter, Bannatyne shares his philosophy, lessons, and practical strategies for building long-term wealth through smart money management. The tone of this section is more serious and technical, reflecting the reality that as your business grows, so do your financial responsibilities. Bannatyne admits that many entrepreneurs fail not because they didn't have good ideas, but because they didn't respect the numbers. Money with Wings: the discipline of financial management. Bannatyne opens the chapter with a hard truth. Making money is one thing, keeping it is another. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of growing revenues, expanding operations, or even receiving large paychecks. But many entrepreneurs sabotage themselves by spending too soon or too much. He highlights a key principle: profit is not cash. Cash is king. Many new business owners confuse revenue with profit and profit with cash flow. Duncan explains the critical differences between these and why cash flow management is the true heartbeat of a business. Bar chart: key financial principles covered. Track every dollar. You must know exactly where your money is going. Use proper accounting systems, keep clear records, and review financials regularly. Understand cash flow versus profit. A business can be profitable on paper but still go bankrupt if it runs out of cash. Plan for lags in payment cycles and unexpected expenses. Reinvest wisely. Bannatyne advises against excessive personal withdrawals early on. Instead, reinvest profits into the business, whether into marketing, staff, equipment, or property. Avoid unnecessary debt. He strongly cautions against using credit recklessly. If debt is used, it should be strategic, like for acquiring assets or funding expansion with clear ROI. Build a reserve. Always have a buffer fund for emergencies. Economic shifts, legal issues, or supplier delays can destroy a business that's operating with zero margin for error. Pay yourself responsibly. Don't drain the company. Set a modest, steady salary based on performance and growth, not ego. Brain mindset shift. Thinking like a wealth builder. One of the major themes in this section is shifting from a spend-to-reward mindset to a build-to-grow one. Many people, especially after their first taste of success, start upgrading their lifestyle. Bigger house, better car, flashier vacations. Bannatyne admits he was tempted too, but he stayed focused. He emphasizes that discipline today creates freedom tomorrow. If you can live below your means while your business grows, you gain more flexibility, more investment power, and ultimately more wealth. He also makes a strong case for delayed gratification. True entrepreneurs, he argues, are willing to say no to shiny objects today so they can say yes to legacy and freedom later. Receipt taxes, legal and financial advisors. Bannatyne doesn't claim to be a tax expert, but he insists that you must hire one. As your business scales, accounting, tax planning, and legal compliance become more complex and more dangerous to ignore. He suggests hiring a reliable accountant or financial advisor early, staying informed on tax obligations and payment schedules, structuring your business in a tax-efficient way, e.g., using limited companies in the UK. This section makes it clear that getting professional help isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Trying to manage everything on your own can be disastrous. Chart increasing investing for the future. Beyond just running a business, Bannatyne talks about investing outside of it. He recommends diversifying income streams, investing in property or stocks, creating passive income to reduce long-term dependence on active work. Even though his main focus is entrepreneurship, he wants readers to build holistic wealth. That means using business income as a tool, not just for lifestyle upgrades, but to create lasting security. He shares that he himself started acquiring property, not for speculation but for stable long-term value. The patience and strategy. Fire common mistakes to avoid. Lifestyle inflation. Just because your income rises doesn't mean your spending should. Ignoring financial statements. Too many founders are in the dark about their own numbers. Not planning for taxes. Failing to set aside funds can lead to major legal issues. Taking on debt emotionally. Borrowing to look successful is a quick path to disaster. Failing to separate personal and business finances. Keep them apart always. Yellow square. In summary, manage the money is one of the most important parts of anyone can do it. It's where Duncan Bannatyne pulls back the curtain and says, if you want to be rich, you must learn to manage your money like the rich do. This section transforms the reader from a dreamer or hustler into a financially intelligent business owner. Duncan doesn't glamorize wealth. He shows that behind every successful business is a foundation of financial clarity, discipline, and strategy. He ends the chapter with a clear reminder. Money doesn't make you rich. Knowing how to use money does. If you want to sustain your success, achieve financial independence, or build generational wealth, mastering money management isn't optional. It's essential. Part 5. Take the leap. In Part 5, Take the Leap, Duncan Bannatyne explores the transformative, and often terrifying, moment when an entrepreneur must make a major commitment to growth. It's about leveling up, going from cautious steps to bold moves, scaling beyond the safe zone and embracing risk at a higher level. After building solid foundations in earlier chapters, Bannatyne now talks about the emotional, financial, and strategic courage it takes to expand a business, step into new industries, or make investments that carry greater risk, but also greater potential for reward. This part is all about one thing: calculated bravery. Parachute. What taking the leap really means. Taking the leap is not about reckless decisions or gambling everything. It's about choosing to pursue growth even when it scares you, and doing so with preparation, clarity, and resilience. Bannatyne describes moments in his own journey when he had to take bold actions such as opening additional care homes simultaneously, investing in larger properties, hiring senior management he couldn't afford yet but needed for growth, moving into entirely new industries. Each of these decisions carried significant financial pressure and required Bannatyne to stretch his skills, mindset, and leadership capabilities. He emphasizes that these moments are often the difference between staying small but safe, or becoming something truly impactful. Brain key lessons from this chapter. Fear is normal. Do it anyway. Every leap will come with doubt and fear. But growth never happens inside your comfort zone. Courage doesn't mean fearlessness. It means acting despite fear. Don't wait for a guarantee. Business is never certain. You'll never have 100% of the information you want. The best entrepreneurs make the most of the 80% they do have. Surround yourself with support. When taking risks, your team and advisors matter more than ever. Bannatyne highlights the importance of a strong inner circle who offer guidance and challenge your thinking. Trust your experience. Your previous wins and mistakes are part of your training. Don't ignore them. Use what you've learned as fuel for bigger decisions. Back yourself financially. Sometimes you need to put your own money on the line. Bannatyne talks about how investing his own capital, carefully and with intention, forced him to take ownership and push harder. Stay grounded in the why. Taking the leap is easier when it aligns with your bigger purpose. Bannatyne reminds readers to stay connected to their why, freedom, legacy, purpose, not just money. Real examples from Bannatyne's journey. In this chapter, Bannatyne shares personal stories of the leaps that changed everything for him. One key moment was when he decided to move beyond care homes into health clubs. This was a completely different sector with new regulations, new customer needs, and much higher costs. But he saw a market opportunity and trusted the instincts he'd developed from years of learning. He didn't dive in blind. He hired consultants with sector-specific knowledge, studied competitors' models, took small steps, pilot programs, test sites, before going full-scale, committed resources slowly, but deliberately. This calculated approach allowed him to enter new territory confidently, not recklessly. It's a blueprint for any entrepreneur considering expansion or reinvention. Prohibited common mistakes people make when leaping. Bannatyne warns readers about traps that can sabotage major growth moves. Leaping with no plan. Enthusiasm alone won't carry you. Risk must be backed by research and strategy. Overextending too fast. Don't grow just for the sake of it. Make sure infrastructure, cash flow, and leadership are ready. Ignoring warning signs. Trust your gut, but also your data. If early signs show problems, course correct quickly. Listening to fear-based advice. Many people will tell you to play it safe. Choose advisors who understand risk, not fear it. Repeat button reframing risk. One of the most powerful messages in this chapter is Bannatyne's redefinition of risk. He challenges the idea that risk is inherently bad. The real risk isn't failure, it's never trying. He argues that the biggest regrets come not from taking chances that didn't work, but from never knowing what could have been. He encourages entrepreneurs to build their risk tolerance gradually. Start with small risks, learn, grow, and then take bigger steps with greater confidence. Bannatyne also points out that risk becomes less scary when you have systems, savings, and support in place. It's not about being a maverick. It's about being a strategic warrior. Globe showing Europe, Africa the power of identity. Seeing yourself as a leader. Another big theme in this chapter is self-image. Bannatyne believes that once you start making bold moves, you also need to start seeing yourself differently. You're no longer just a small business owner. You're a leader, a strategist, a builder of opportunity for others. This mindset shift is crucial when taking the leap. If you still think of yourself as small, you'll hesitate. If you embrace your new identity, you'll rise to meet the challenge. Yellow square in summary. Take the leap is one of the most empowering chapters, and anyone can do it. It's about standing on the edge of possibility, feeling the fear, and jumping anyway, because your future depends on it. Bannatyne shows that every entrepreneur will face a moment when they must decide between safety and scale, comfort and courage, the known and the possible. Those who grow are the ones who choose to leap. But he makes it clear. Leaping doesn't mean gambling. It means preparing wisely, moving intentionally, and trusting yourself. With the right mindset, support, and strategy, you can expand beyond anything you imagined. In Bannatyne's words, don't be reckless, but don't be timid. Take the leap. It's where real success lives. Part 6. Avoid the pitfalls. In Part 6, Avoid the Pitfalls, Duncan Bannatyne shifts from growth and ambition to an equally important topic: survival. This chapter is a wake-up call for entrepreneurs who may be riding high after some success but are unknowingly walking into traps that can cripple their business or destroy it altogether. With the hard-earned wisdom of experience, Bannatyne lays out the most common mistakes entrepreneurs make and how to dodge them. He's honest, blunt, and direct. offering readers a clear-eyed view of the danger zones they must learn to navigate. Warning: the premise: success can breed complacency. Bannatyne starts with an important observation. Success can be dangerous. It gives you confidence, but sometimes too much confidence. Entrepreneurs who start seeing results often loosen the discipline that got them there in the first place. They may start taking shortcuts, ignoring early warnings, or acting as if their winning streak is guaranteed to continue. Most businesses don't fail in the first few steps. They fail after they start to succeed and let their guard down. He speaks from personal experience. While he never lost everything, he came close more than once due to poor judgment, lack of due diligence, or emotional decision-making. Firecracker: the most common pitfalls and how to avoid them. 1. Overexpansion. The problem: growing too fast too soon without the systems or people to support it. The fix: grow steadily. Test each expansion model before replicating it. Ensure cash flow management and infrastructure are stable. 2. Ego and arrogance. The problem: believing you're untouchable because of past success. The fix: stay humble. Keep learning. Always question yourself and seek feedback from those who will tell you the truth. 3. Neglecting financial basics. The problem: assuming you're fine just because revenue is up. The fix: always monitor cash flow, overheads, debt levels, and profits. Never stop budgeting and forecasting. 4. Poor hiring decisions. The problem: hiring too fast, hiring friends, or ignoring red flags. The fix: be disciplined. Hire for skill and culture fit. Let people go if they're holding the business back. 5. Chasing every opportunity. The problem: getting distracted by shiny object syndrome and losing focus. The fix: stick to your core business. Pursue new ventures only if they align with your long-term vision and capacity. 6. Underestimating competition. The problem: thinking you're the only game in town. The fix: study your competitors regularly. Adapt. Innovate. Never stop improving your offer. 7. Emotional decision-making. The problem: making impulsive decisions out of pride, fear, or excitement. The fix: take time to reflect. Consult your team. Use data and logic, not just gut feeling. Lightbulb practical wisdom from Duncan Bannatyne makes it clear that many of these pitfalls aren't technical, they're psychological. Most entrepreneurs fail because of emotional weakness, not because their product was bad. They fail because they ignore the numbers, avoid conflict, refuse to ask for help, hold on to toxic people, lie to themselves about what's really going on. He urges readers to be brutally honest about their weaknesses. The best leaders aren't perfect. They're just aware of their flaws and build systems or teams around them to compensate. Chart decreasing when things go wrong. What to do? Even with the best intentions, things will go wrong. Bannatyne provides a rescue playbook for when you hit a crisis. Don't panic. Calm thinking leads to better solutions. Cut costs fast. Be decisive. Survival is more important than appearances. Talk to creditors early. They're more flexible when you communicate early. Rebuild trust with staff, clients, and suppliers. Be transparent. Learn and adjust. Don't just recover, improve. One of Bannatyne's strengths is how he normalizes setbacks. Every great entrepreneur has faced a near-death moment in business. What matters is how you respond and evolve. Hammer and wrench tools to stay on track. Weekly financial reviews. Don't wait for quarterly reports. Check your cash flow and expenses weekly. Scenario planning. Ask what-if questions. Prepare for downturns and worst-case scenarios before they happen. Outside mentors/advisors. Get people who aren't emotionally tied to your business to challenge your thinking. Culture checks. Make sure your team remains aligned with your values, even during rapid growth or stress. Yellow square in summary. Avoid the pitfalls is the survival guide every entrepreneur needs once they've tasted success. Bannatyne reminds us that starting is hard, but staying successful is even harder. It requires vigilance, humility, and continuous self-awareness. He doesn't just want you to build a business, he wants you to build something that lasts. That means staying lean, staying focused, and staying mentally tough, even when everything is going well. As he puts it, success doesn't just take effort. It takes discipline, clarity, and the courage to say no to what looks good but isn't right. This chapter is your compass for staying on the path so you don't fall into the same traps that ruin so many promising ventures. Part 7. Live the Dream. In Part 7, Live the Dream, Duncan Bannatyne brings the journey full circle. After guiding readers through starting small, growing with purpose, managing money wisely, and avoiding pitfalls, he now focuses on the end game, what success truly means and how to live it with fulfillment, gratitude, and impact. This chapter isn't about luxury or showing off wealth. It's about the freedom, choices, and personal satisfaction that come with building something real. Bannatyne urges readers not just to chase financial success, but to define their version of the dream and live it on their terms. Speech balloon, the dream, isn't just about money. Bannatyne opens by breaking down a common myth, that wealth alone equals happiness. Through his own experience and watching others, he learned that money amplifies who you are, but it doesn't automatically bring peace, meaning, or joy. It's not about the car, the house, or the headline. It's about how you feel when you wake up in the morning. He encourages readers to reflect on their deeper motivations. Do you want to spend more time with your family? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to give back to your community? Do you want to create something that outlives you? This kind of clarity matters because it shapes how you build, how you grow, and how you spend your time after success arrives. Brain the mental shift from builder to owner. A big focus in this chapter is the transition from hustling to harvesting. Once your business is running smoothly and generating income, you must learn to step back, delegate more, and enjoy the life you've built. This doesn't mean becoming lazy. It means becoming strategic. Bannatyne encourages entrepreneurs to let go of micromanaging, empower strong leadership teams, invest in passions outside of business, reclaim their time. For him, this shift meant getting involved in philanthropy, enjoying family life, writing books, and participating in shows like Dragon's Den, all while still owning and expanding his businesses with more clarity and peace of mind. Compass redefining success. Purpose possessions. One of the most powerful elements of this chapter is Bannatyne's reminder that the dream is deeply personal. He warns readers not to fall into the trap of chasing someone else's version of success. Social media, society, or peer pressure might make you think success means private jets or massive IPOs. But real fulfillment comes from being healthy, having control over your time, doing meaningful work, making a difference. He shares stories of ultra-wealthy people who are miserable because they never defined what enough looked like. On the other hand, he celebrates the entrepreneurs who are content, generous, and grounded because they align their success with their values. Repeat button giving back and legacy. Bannatyne emphasizes the importance of using your success to uplift others. Whether it's mentoring, donating, creating jobs, or building programs that support education and health, impact is a key ingredient in long-term happiness. He shares his own philanthropic work, including his support for children's charities and health initiatives, and how these efforts gave him a sense of purpose far beyond profit. When you live the dream, it's not about what you've built. It's about what you do with it. Hammer and wrench practical advice for living the dream. Design your ideal day. What would your day look like if money wasn't an issue? Start aligning your life with that vision now, not later. Automate and delegate. Build systems and teams that allow you to step away from the daily grind without fear. Revisit your why often. As you evolve, your goals might shift. That's okay. Keep redefining what success means to you. Invest in experiences, not just things. The best returns often come from time with loved ones, travel, and learning. Take care of your health. Wealth without wellness is useless. Make physical and mental health the top priority. Stay humble and curious. No matter how successful you get, keep learning and stay open. Growth never stops. Yellow square in summary. Live the dream is not about flashy cars or designer lifestyles. It's a deep, soulful conversation about what happens when you reach your goals. Bannatyne invites you to think beyond the numbers and ask yourself, what kind of life do I truly want? Who do I want to become? How can I use what I've built to do good? This final chapter reminds us that entrepreneurship isn't just a career. It's a vehicle for freedom, self-expression, and service. And while making money is great, living well is better. Duncan Bannatyne finishes the book with a powerful message. Anyone can do it, but only a few will do it right. Choose to be one of the few. Conclusion: your journey starts now. Throughout Anyone Can Do It, Duncan Bannatyne has taken us on a journey. From humble beginnings selling ice cream to building multi-million-pound businesses across industries. But more than a business memoir, this book is a blueprint for courage, discipline, and belief. His message is clear. Success is not reserved for the lucky, the rich, or the gifted. It's for those who dare to start, learn as they go, and never stop pushing forward. From taking the first small step, to dreaming bigger and acting boldly, to building strong systems, managing money wisely, avoiding dangerous pitfalls, and finally to living with purpose, freedom, and impact, Bannatyne proves that anyone, yes, anyone, can do it. But the final choice? That's yours. You can close this book and carry on as before, or you can take what you've learned and start writing your own story, step by step, decision by decision, leap by leap. There is no perfect time. There is no secret formula. There is only this moment, right now, where you choose to begin. You don't have to be extraordinary to succeed, but you do have to start. And once you start, you'll discover just how far you can go. So go ahead. Start small. Think big. Make it happen. Live the dream. As you can do it. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe to our channel to help us have the motivation to make the next videos.